Songwriter, huge toy collecting reviews, good or bad or giving land use, restorations or memories.
Hello everyone, Salt Rider here. So this is just a little bit of an update to this video. Some people have been having trouble basically viewing it, so I thought I'd try and re-upload the video. So yeah, I hope you enjoy it. So TFNation is about 4 weeks away now. We're getting really close, and this is the latest I've ever left it to book my ticket. And on Sunday afternoon, I did it. I bought my TFNation ticket, and I've been toying with the idea of, do I go for get a weekend ticket, do I just get a Saturday ticket, over and over in my mind, and I finally made the decision. I will be about on all 3 days, but I've gone solely for a Saturday ticket this year. And for those of you who haven't seen my previous videos on this, it's mainly because there isn't a pull for any of the real events, if that makes sense. A lot of the guests I've met before, Peter Spelios I've met before, the majority of the artists I've met and got things signed before, so there isn't that real pull for me to see them. The panels, even though there are some on the Friday, the Visionaries panel I'd really like to see, I just don't see the value in that extra £25 to see that panel. Like, for example, seeing the Bumblebee film on the Friday night would be brilliant, but I've seen the film and I've got it at home. Do I need to pay that extra money for it? And so on and so forth. And so I made the decision that I'm going to only go on the Saturday, and I bought a Saturday ticket for that. And you know what? I thought at the back of my mind, if I'm still there on the Sunday and there's something that I've missed that I really want, someone will go in for me. I've got enough friends at TFNation for them to do that for me, so it's not the end of the world, and I still get to be part of this great great convention. So I suppose we should do hopes, fears, and shopping lists. That's normally what we talk about. So my hopes are I just have a good time. My hopes are that I don't spend too much money, which might also be a fear, to be fair. I hope I get a focused haul which doesn't consist of 40-50 items as I've done before. 5 to 10 nice items would be good. I don't mind paying a couple of bits for some quid for some bits here and there and all that, but 5 to 10 nice items that will be beneficial to this collection. I hope that I'll have a good time with the people. There's a lot of people who are classed as my real close friends not going this year, and I just hope that I'll be able to find some people to hang around with. I think that's probably one of my fears this year, is that a lot of my close friends aren't going, except for, of course, James and Graham. But they've got there's other groups and other people they want to see, and I don't want to be a spare part hanging around with them all the while. So yeah, I just that's a hope as well, that I'll be able to interact and hang around with some people for the time that I'm there. I hope I get to meet Greg Berger. Last year I didn't meet Stan Bush. Rudy was amazing and got me that autograph, which is the frame up there. I hope I meet Greg Berger. I hope I remember my DVD this year to get it signed. So that's one thing I really hope and I really want to do. I just hope I have a laugh, really. My other hope is that I don't drink. I haven't had an alcoholic drink since last September now. And it's not because I'm addicted or anything like that. I've just made that decision that I want to have a year without it and then see how I feel, and I'm almost approaching that. And I think TFNation will be tempting to just sip a cider or a pint at that bar, but I'm gonna stay strong. And I will be staying at one night, which is Saturday night with James. I meant to throw that in there earlier, but I forgot. So they're hopes. I kind of crossed over into fears as well. But fears wise, I hope I don't spend too much. I hope I don't buy crap that I regret buying. Every year I've been to TFN, and I think there is this syndrome of convention shopping where you'll buy stuff just for the spur of the moment and you won't tend to enjoy it. The last couple of years now I've bought items and I haven't necessarily enjoyed them. At the time, I remember walking to Compare and spending £300 on items that I haven't really picked up. They're amazing, but I think last year it was better. Last year I got some really nice items that filled in gaps in my collection. I'm going to talk about that in a moment. But my theory is that number one, I don't enjoy it. For whatever reason, it feels a little bit empty, a little bit samey. That's my worry, because there's nothing really sticking out on those panels or those events that really pull me in. It's mainly the event itself and the dealer room that's pulling me in this year. The event, I mean, being able to interact with other Transformers fans, all that kind of stuff. So I mentioned as well that I want to try and focus my collection a little bit more. It's something that I've done with Marvel Legends recently, and I'm quite proud I've done it, where I've focused my collection solely on MCU with the caveat of Deadpool. And I'm happy, I'm comfortable with that rule in my collection. Now with Transformers, it's going to be very, very difficult because I've got so many Transformers from so many different timelines. It's hard to focus. But for now, I have decided where I'm going to focus. I'm going to focus on MP size / scale movie bots from 1986, not the Bayverse ones, but the 1986 movie bots, to try and complete a collection. And how I categorise is a bit odd. I don't know if this is a bit odd or if it's just me or what, but I categorise the 86 movie bots as the ones that made their first appearance in the movie. So your Hot Rods, your Cups, your Galvatrons, your Cyclonus, all of those made their appearance. Even though Grimlock and Blaster are in the movie, and Bumblebee and Jazz, they were in season 1 and 2. So I don't necessarily just class those as 86 movie bots. They would fit into the display, and I've actually got a Grimlock, Masterpiece Grimlock, which could go into that display. But I'm focusing on capturing the core cast, the new characters from 86. I also want to try and plug some holes in my Generation 1 collection. Not necessarily looking at the Japanese Star Savers and Diatlas and all that kind of stuff. There are a few exceptions and a few oddities, but the main ones I want to try and get hold of are just figures that are holes in my current collection at the moment. There's also some third-party stuff and other MPs that I want to have a look at to try and refine some of the other collections, mainly Season 1 and 2, to be honest with you. And also, I'm going to talk about Siege, because I love that line. So, let's get out the shopping list. So let's start off with this 86 movie shelf. And the one character that I'm missing, one of 4 main characters, I feel that are gaps in my collection, is RC. There are a few options out there for RC, but I've narrowed them down to 2, and that's the Ocular Max or MMC version and the Fans Toys Rouge version. Where I'm at the moment, well, cost-wise they're about the same. They've both got the pluses and the minuses, but I'm edging towards Fans Toys at the moment, simply because the Mind Wipe I got from them last year was amazing. This is probably the highest likely figure I will be adding, or character I will be adding to my 86 movie shelf, simply because I know Kapow still have Rouge Fans Toys RC in stock, and it's a half decent price point, between £70 and £80 for these. So I think it's very, very likely that I'll be adding an RC to the collection, but we'll see what it's like on the day. Second on the list is Cup. For me, there is only one option out there at MP scale at the moment, and that is Fans Toys Coot. I'm not a fan of the line down the middle of the chest, which is there for transformation, but I think this is a great likeness of Cup, and I'll be happy to have him fill the Cup void in my collection. It's probably the one I really, really want to add, but I feel that I might have missed the boat on this one, and if he will be at TFN, if he is, he'll probably be very, very expensive, probably over the £100 mark. The other 2 bots that I'm missing are Blur and Wheelie. Now, there is a lovely toy that's become recommended to me by Dave Shotton, which is a Unique Toys Buzzing, But for me, I might be hanging around for another option, maybe that Fans Toys Jabba. And of course, there's X-Transbots Wheelie, which has a couple of versions, but is notoriously bad in QC. So even though these are gaps in my masterpiece scale collection, these are two that are really unlikely to be fulfilling at TFN. So most likely, when I say, if I'm lucky, a cup or maybe both. So onto the Generation 1 toys, and there's only really a few that I'm really holding out for now. Probably top of the list is a Generation 1 Shockwave. If there is one there at the right price, in the right condition, I'll be looking at picking up him. I really hope I can pick up a Rewind. He's the only mini cassette that I'm missing from the main Autobot line, so I'd like to pick up him. Headmaster Nightbeat, that blue and yellow car that has eluded me so far. I bought him 1 year and his head was missing, so it'd be nice to finish the set, as I got Ho's head last year and I've already got a Siren in my collection. But probably the biggest thing, the nearest G1 Transformer Holy Grail I have now is Fortress Maximus. And I know that there is usually one there, and I know it's about £300-400. It's unlikely that I'm going to add that to the collection, not only because of price but of size. So the most likely one, if I'm honest, I'll be adding is probably Rewind or Shockwave. They're the ones I'm going to be looking out for. Some other G1 oddities, not necessarily from the main line, but I'd like to add to the collection, is a Browning. I just think it'd be cool to have another Gunformer, and there's been a KO vintage version there for the last couple of years for about £60. He'd be tempting. And after Gareth last year picked up his last Omnibot, I wouldn't mind adding one or two of those to collection at some point. Generation 2 gaps, haven't really got that many I want to fill. Starscream is a big one. I really would like to add Starscream into it. And if the Make Toys version of the G2 Starscream is there, I think that'll tempt me. I think I'll go and pick up that figure. Snarl would be nice to pick up, and Vortex as well, because he's the only Combaticon I'm missing. But that's it really. It's really that Starscream, both the G2 version and the third-party Make Toys one. So interesting, onto Siege. The figures that I've spoke about before, really the third-party masterpieces and even the vintage figures are more for display, not for playability, not to pose and mess around with. And that's where I see Siege and the Generations line really filling a different need for me as a character and a Transformers fan. I feel happy to play around with these, feel safe to play around with them. They're not old and going to break, they're not over-complex and over-expensive, they're just fun toys, and I think this is why I love the Generations and especially the Siege line so much. There is so much playability in there. So I think I'm going to be a little bit unlucky and a Mega Supreme isn't going to be there this year. Looks like he's going to be delayed till October, but if he is there, I do want him. Jetfire or Skyfire, he's become high up on the list. If a Mega isn't there, I'm going to go for a Jetfire. I think it looks really nice. If they're both there, probably Omega will win, if I'm completely honest with you. Springer, Refractor and Brunt, the Voyagers and Deluxe figures from that same wave, really interested in those. However, I will not be paying over the odds for them. This wave is going to eventually hit Smiths for £24 for Springer, and I think Brunt and Refractor will be about £18 each. I don't want to be paying too much for these, especially when they're going to hit UK retail. But if one of them is there for the right price, or a few of them are there for the right price, I'm going to be in on them. So here's some more miscellaneous third-party and masterpiece figures. Still don't have an MP Inferno or Grapple. I haven't got that mould. I would like to add one of those to the collection, but I won't be paying the £100-odd retail price for it when I can pick up a Dirty KO for like £30. So I probably won't be in one of those for full price. Toy World Space Raider. If he's there, I would like to pick one up. James has got one. Dave Shotton's got one. I'd really like to have one. Transistor, I've just sold my Shattered Glass version. It's a lovely toy, but it didn't fit in my collection. I really want the normal coloured blaster. That's what I really want. The X-Transbot Stunticons, I've only got Breakdown. I would like to have a look at the rest, maybe have one or two of those if the price is right. Out from left field, Magic Square Optimus Prime. I'm not going to get the new MP version of him, but I do like this figure, and for the right price I may be tempted. And another one from the left wing, Steam Robo, the GoBot, the third party newer version of Loco. I've got the original Loco, and I just like this figure, and it turns into a steam train. What more can you want? So those are my thoughts. That's my thought process at the moment. Almost my shopping list, my list of options. I'm not going to come on with them all. I have no intention of coming on with them all. What does my gut tell me I'm going to be coming back with this year? I think I'll be coming back with Jetfire. I think I'll be coming back with Springer. I think I'll be coming back with either RC or Cup. If Cup's there, I think I'll edge towards Cup. But I do want to add another third-party masterpiece to the collection, because I'll probably only do it once a year now. I'm not going to go out and buy loads of MPs. And it'd be kind of nice just to pick up one at each TFN or each convention, or when I go to a special event. And I think I'll get a Rewind. Hopefully, touch wood, I'll get a Rewind. Will I get a Shockwave? I think he'll be too overpriced. If I'm honest with you. I'm not going to go Fort Max. So yeah, safe bets, I would say a couple of Siege guys, Springer and Jetfire, and probably a Fans Toys third party. The one that I actually really, really want, I'd love a G2 Starscream, and I love that Mate Toys one. And if that Mate Toys one is there, I think it goes top of my list. But as I say, safe bets, get a Jetfire, get a Springer, and I'll have loads of fun with them. I need to say as well, a lot of those photos I just took off Google, so if any of those are your photos, then credit to you. I couldn't see who they were from on a lot of them or anything like that, so please don't sue me or anything like that. I was just seeing them off Google, so credit to whoever took those photos in the original source. So yeah, those have been my hopes, my fears and my shopping list. I've been Zort Rider, and I'll see you at TFN soon.